It's working. Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a little update on the greenhouse. It's been a couple weeks since I've been in here with you guys, so I thought we'd take a peek. Let's see if I can get in focus here. Okay, so right when we walk in here to the right, we have the radishes growing. These are doing pretty well. These I planted on June 10th, I believe, and they're doing really good. I mean, nice and thick in here. You can see they go all the way back there. We have a bean in the corner. I don't think the bean's going to do too much. Probably, in hindsight, should have probably put it in the other side of the greenhouse. Over here. This is where I get most of my sunlight in the day because the sun comes from this side and spends a lot of time up against, this area outside. So it's probably not super happy. It doesn't get a lot of really bright sunlight. But next year I'll switch it up. I just wanted to get it out here from my basement. So, but yeah, the radishes are doing nice. Next to those we have 2 rows of carrots. I think the carrots here might be a little too shielded from the radishes because for some reason this row right here is doing a lot better. But you can see that I'm starting to get a lot of bigger leaf growth on some of these carrots. So these should be really good. These are purple carrots with orange center. I think they're called dragon something carrots, but I think they're the same thing as cosmic carrots, things like that. So yeah, pretty happy with these radishes and carrots that are coming up. Radishes are so vigorous, it's fun to watch them. It seems like they grow every single day. And I do have a bean back here. This is a dragon's tongue bean, so it's kind of neat looking. They have purple marks on them. So my tomato plants really went nuts. This lemon drop has flowers all over it. You can see flowers under there, flowers here, flowers back there, up here, back there. I even have some tomatoes popping out, so that's fairly exciting. Oh, there's some back there too. So yeah, this is a pretty fun plant. Everything looks nice and healthy. The leaves are nice and green. I bought a bunch of perennial stuff from a lady's house. She has a huge yard full, so I'll just kind of highlight some of those as I go through here. They're still in buckets. I'm actually in the process of putting a bed in the front yard so I can get these planted, get them established so that they can pop up next year. Down here you can't really see too much, but I planted basil and dill over here. I think I've told the story before, but basically what happened is I planted this tomato here, planted these, realized I didn't put fertilizer in the hole with this tomato, so I dug some of this dirt back, not even thinking, and buried a bunch of the seeds that I had just planted here. So I think a lot of them got pushed back this way. So I expect to be getting some stuff popping up back there, possibly, or just completely buried. So, but you can see a few of them are definitely popping through. So that's good. I'll get something. This is just a little catnip that I put out here. I had a seedling tray with some seeds in it that I didn't think germinated, and I left it in water, and that popped up out of there, so I just tossed it in here just for fun. This is all golden chard here. Eventually I'd like to juice these. Super healthy, so you can see I've got quite a few. Down a little further I've got some red Swiss chard. So not a whole lot here. I don't have a super huge greenhouse, so we'll see what those do for me. This next one is the velvet red tomato. You can see how furry those leaves are. Looking a lot healthier than it was when I put it out here. Really nice plant. Cool, smooth looking leaves. This has quite a few flowers as well, and tomatoes for me. You can see back there. Pretty neat. More flowers back there. Some here. Some down there, back there. I'm about ready to have more tomatoes than I'm going to know what to do with, but that's a good problem. I kind of just have basil in these containers spread out throughout here. This next tomato plant is a German pink. This has gigantic leaves. These are potato leaves. You can see some of these are pretty huge. This plant seems to be doing pretty well. Look at that gigantic blossom on there. More coming through back there. And just buds all over this thing. So these are going to be pound or two tomatoes, so I'm going to have to be careful to make sure this thing gets stringed up once those start to grow. And they're on their way, so I need to get ready.
Dad?
Doing a video. These are cilantro here. You can see that these are doing pretty well here. Starting to bush out quite a bit. I've got a volunteer tomato here. I'll leave it in there for now and see what happens. Stevia. My stevia has really started to grow taller. Super bushy. This one has quite a few shoots on it. These are probably the only two plants in here I think that I got from the store. Everything else I started from seed. You can see this basil back here is going to seed. I think I'm going to let it do that and see if I can collect some seeds. They're Genovese, so it's pretty good basil. I'd like to keep growing those and propagating. This little bushy guy here is a lemon drop also. A little later start than the bigger ones you just saw, but it's looking really healthy. I'm really happy with the leaves on all my plants. You can see even the bottom leaves on all of these plants are nice and green. Don't seem to have any issues with any blight or anything like that inside the greenhouse. So that's good. This is a black cherry tomato. This was pretty small when I put it out here. This was growing in my window. Also quite a bit later start than the others. So happy with that. You can see little flowers coming through there. So I'll be happy to get some of those. Back here, these are my Italian heirlooms. Not really large plants either, but they look really healthy, so we'll see what happens with those. We still have time left in the season, so no hurry. This guy here is another velvet red. This one doesn't have the frosty leaves. Absolutely insane number of tomatoes coming out on this plant. I can't believe it. This is one plant, and it's huge. Prolific. Really excited. This is the first tomato growth I had popped up on these, and you can see they're doing pretty well. So I'm ready to eat some tomatoes, that's for sure. It's been a lot of work up to this point. These are just some peppers I have. Bell peppers. This one just started to flower. These are hot peppers, Takanatsume. This guy here, you can see I've got a pepper coming in there. Another blossom. All bells, bells, bells. Back there, Boxcar Willies. Looking pretty happy. That's another German pink there. Not so happy. I think it'll be okay, but got some brown spots on the leaves. Not sure what that's all about. Here's another bell. This is my big zucchini plant in a container. You can see there looks pretty happy. More basil. Moonglow. Back in the corner is a lemon drop. This is a Dester. This guy here is a lemon drop too. This is a gold medal, really bushy little plant. Nice thick stalk on the bottom. These here that I'm showing you, they're a lot smaller because they started later, but they've really taken off here recently. This one is an Italian heirloom, not looking so hot. Really skinny stem. I don't know if you can see from here, but it's got some weird stuff on the stem that it contracted when it was a smaller plant. So we'll see what happens there. These here in this bucket, this is perennials also. These are Trallium. And you may be able to see the buds on there. I think I'm going to get a late Trillium here. Trillium. Not quite sure how you say that. This is a... what is this one? This must be a Moonglow. More Boxcar Willie. Another German pink. This over here is my kale, looking really, really good. Nice and thick, green. I'm going to start taking some of these leaves. Somebody suggested grating Parmesan and baking them. Some kale crispies. I also juiced these too. Back here you can see my little pea plant. The one that is protected from the rabbits. This one out here got attacked last night. That used to be up to the top almost. Pretty voracious rabbit got a hold of it. Another Trillium. This one's already had its flowers come out. Probably should pick those off, or do those go to seed? They might go to seed. Be kind of cool to get some of those. I don't know what this is. This is another perennial. Something for ground cover. I'm guessing this will have some kind of a flower. I didn't see it. The lady, like I said, I got it from some lady. These I believe are lilies. Looking pretty good. Over here, I don't know what this is. If you guys know what some of these are, feel free to let me know. I just kind of took what she recommended. I know what some of them are, but not all. I just know that her yard was beautiful, so very excited. These down here, this had little purple flowers, but they've since come and gone. But you can see there, looks like I'm getting some little pods. I'll try to propagate as many of these as I can. Here's some chives, complete with pollinator. These were free at the farmer's market. King's Crown. This is a Takonatsumi pepper in a bigger container. Here's a Boxcar Willie in a bigger container. This is a cutting I took of another plant. I don't even know what this is. This is a very unhappy little guy that I just planted in a bigger pot yesterday. I noticed it had some flowers, so I figured it'd want some love. Probably not the best time to be transplanting it, but it was on its final legs anyway, so we'll see what happens. I have a lot of dirt now. I'll show you after I leave the greenhouse here if you guys still have the patience to stick with me. Something else cool, this is another perennial. Also don't know what that one is. My squash, zucchini are still doing pretty good. Really starting to spread out. Looking pretty green. Not as green as I would like. But I do have a successfully germinated zucchini coming in there, so that's cool. Another smaller one. Pretty green. I'll have to make room for those once they get bigger. This is a smaller type of King's Crown that actually will spread out. No, this one I think you have to actually propagate, spread it out yourself, but this guy I believe is invasive, which is what I want. I have a big bed plan for the front yard, so these are irises. Bunch of basil. Some more delphinium. Rosemary, actually. I'll have to get those planted, complete with a couple of, looks like one tomato in there, a little volunteer. Beautiful zucchini blossom. I love those flowers. They're pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically it for here. Here's my giant container German pink. Huge plant. And some cucumbers. These were in my basement, so they don't look super hot. I had a bit of a spider mite thing going on that I finally got under control, but they're doing pretty well out here, I think. You can see another cucumber there. Blossoms. So we'll see how they do. I think they can still turn things around. It's trying to make me some cucumbers, so that's good. And that's pretty much it for in here. Let's go for a little walk. Hello, Jonah. What you doing? Nothing. Ah, cool. Alright, first we'll see the delphiniums. This I was going to do Little melon patch back here. This is manure in the holes. I decided it was too late in the year though, so we'll save that for next year. I'll throw some dirt down there too so I can bury the vines. This is the delphinium bed behind my greenhouse. You can see inside there. This window comes out. I open it up on hotter days. So that ought to be pretty beautiful once those pop up next year. I'm excited to see those. There's the other kiddo. This is my little puny rhubarb, sorry. Looks a lot better this year than it did last year. I've been watering it, so I keep hoping to get a decent little rhubarb plant out of it. We'll see what happens. Lots of raspberries here too. They're doing pretty good. Still no signs of flowers, so they have some growing to do yet. These are my sunflowers, getting taller all the time. Pretty healthy looking. This will be pretty neat once these put on heads. I think a couple of them are starting, like this guy here. But a lot of them, yeah, this one's starting to come through too. So I think they'll start to give some flowers here soon. As you can see, my daughter. Can you stand next to that flower?
Sure.
She's pretty tall, and they're almost as tall as her. They're not mammoth sunflowers, but they ought to do pretty well. You guys ready for this? My bleeding hearts went nuts. They got so big they started falling over. Check this out. They grew back here next to the house, and they've taken over this entire area. I have flowers everywhere, and they're so cool. Check these out. Yeah, they haven't done this well in the past. Not complaining. They look so cool. Yeah, it's one advantage of being in Alaska is we get weather that the bleeding hearts love. It's cooler here, so. And the neatest thing about this is kind of a shady area too, so they don't have to be in full sun, so they do really well. Here's some columbine. Trying to get in there with those bleeding hearts, competing for the space. That must be the seed pods for columbine. That's pretty cool. Looks like a hand. So yeah, really excited about these. Nasturtium baskets. My wife's flower baskets, petunia and little lobelia that I started for her from seed. I do have flowers starting to come out on these nasturtium. Turn the water off. Here's my wife's fairy basket. Just add fairies. Pretty cool. This is the first time since she bought the plants that everything has been blossoming at the same time. There's a gate here, actually. You can't barely see it, it's so thick. With a little walkway through here. And a little house back there that she painted. She's pretty crafty. That's in a neat container too. She likes it. And around this side of the house we have my manure pile. This is all composted manure. You can kind of get a scale of it here if I walk by it. It's pretty impressive. But I've been taking this and building some strawberry beds. This is all sifted and really nice stuff. For now I don't have any wood or anything on the sides. I think I'm going to do that though so it doesn't wash away. Here's my homemade sifter. The stuff that comes out and the good stuff. over here. So yep, that's pretty much it. There's the full circle. Thanks for watching if you hung in there for 20 minutes. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.